This conference will now be recorded.
Yes, good evening, friends. So today first we learn the XPath pending part, that is using location in XPath. Based on this, I'll introduce you the topic handling Ajax calls or suggestion displayed on a text box. If you want to write the script, we need to have the knowledge about using the locations in the XPath. First, understand that how to use the location of an element in the XPath. First, you answer me when you go for location, when generally we have to choose the location in the XPath expression. Yes, if properties are not available, I mean, when properties are not available. And friends, definitely every element will have some properties, but if none of the properties helping you to uniquely identify the element, if no properties helping us in identifying the element properly, then only we have to go for the location. Okay. Check out some examples when we go for the location first. So here, let me open some application. Okay. The premisbank.qatech.com. So here, even this paragraph also one element. This paragraph also one element. I want to make Selenium to read the content displayed on the paragraph. Generally, this kind of scenarios we do during content testing. I'm spying the properties of this paragraph component. See, these are the properties of the paragraph component. By seeing the properties, you tell me, if I want to go with the properties, which property you want me to take? Which property you want me to take? By seeing the properties, you answer me. P. What is that P? Class name. Here, P is a HTML tag name, correct? There is a class name available, style 7. There is align one property available. If I write the code in this way, driver dot find element by tag name P. If there is another paragraph available before this, now generally I hope you remember still. Find element identifies the first element matching the given properties. Correct? Assume that there is one more paragraph available before this. That paragraph tag name also P. Even that paragraph tag name also P. If I use tag name, first two paragraphs will be identified every time. So I don't recommend to go with the tag name P here. Okay, leave it. Second one, class name. What is the class name value? Style 7. You please observe, just after this, you have one more paragraph here. Even this class value also style 7. This class property value also style 7. Maybe some other element class property also may be style 7. If I use class property style 7, if there is a, here we are clearly observing that for all the paragraphs, same class property are given, class style 7, something like that. If there is one more element with the same class property, Selenium will identify the first element whose class name is style 7, not this one. But I want to make Selenium to identify this paragraph element. Align, justify. Not only for this, any paragraph, generally, mostly people will go with align property as justify. Some properties are available. Some properties are available, but no properties are helping us to find the element. Agree with me? Few properties are available. Class name available, align available, tag name available, but these properties will not help us to uniquely, perfectly identify that element by the Selenium. So there is no other option, no other properties are helping us. So we have to make a decision here, better to go for the location. You understand my point? Now, so here, just precisely I'll write it using location in XPath. If no properties helping Selenium to identify element, then we go with location-based identification. That is location. Okay. Here we have two options here. Absolute location. Absolute location. Nothing but absolute XPath. And we have other one, partial. Sorry, partial XPath. The names itself very clear. Absolute means if I am specifying the location of the element from the beginning of the HTML page, I write here, we have two options in using location, giving complete location, complete route of the element to the Selenium. If we specify route from beginning of the HTML page to end of the node. What is the beginning of the HTML page generally? HTML, correct? To end of the child node. Sorry, till not to till end of the element or node or whatever it may be. Then it is called absolute export. Then it is called absolute export. The absolute export begins with HTML. We can also use single forward slash, not double forward slash, HTML. First, I'm informing the Selenium, start searching the located element start locating the element from the beginning of the web page. If you ask Selenium, start identifying the element from the beginning of the page. What do you mean by beginning of the page? You take any web page. Okay, here it is there. The beginning is, what is the beginning node? What is the beginning node here? Yes, you are seeing what is the beginning node? HTML. Right. If I ask Selenium, start locating the element from the beginning, from the HTML, I have to say like this. First, go to HTML. From there, move to HTML body. From there, move to the form. From there, move to second division. Then identify this element. If you give the complete location of the element from the beginning of the page till end of the child node to the Selenium, it is called absolute location or absolute XPath. Okay. Now, to teach this topic, first what I do, I create a sample web page, a small one. Just a minute. Notepad. I open the notepad. I'm creating a small, simple HTML page. Input ID property equal to UID. Name property, uname I'm assigning. The type property, text box. Size, number of characters, 20. Break in the next line. Password, a simple login page I'm creating. Input element, ID property equal to PWD. Name property equal to PWord. And giving the name property, ID property not mandatory, they're optional. You know they're optional. Okay. The type property equal to say password or text I'm giving. Size equal to 20. Break. Now I'm creating a button. Input. Okay. Type equal to button. Value equal to login something. Okay, I created just something like this. I will save it. Okay. In my desktop, I'm putting it. Demo.html. Done. Okay. I created a sample web page. A very simple concept to teach you something. Here, this I'm opening in my Firefox browser or any other browser. This is a HTML page I was created, just created. This is the output of my HTML code. Now, if I want to make Selenium to identify username element, generally, we inspect the properties. There is a ID property available or there is a name property available, we go with the ID or name. And password element. ID available, name available, type available, we choose any one of these. Login element. Here, HTML tag name available, type available, value available. I'll go with this value property. Okay, now here, supposing this element don't have ID or name, or this element don't have ID or name, I have to use the location of the element. First, understand the concept of absolute location. HTML is a parent here, correct? I'll inform Selenium, start locating the element from the beginning of the page, that is HTML. Then from there, move to HTML body. I write here. First, single forward slash is not mandatory, optional. HTML, a forward slash, body, I ask Selenium, move to body section in the HTML page. Then the first input element, correct? Second input element, third input element. I'll say input 1. It is first input element. This is the first input element. See now, I'm copying this. You no need to write the code every time to understand the concept. We can make use of the try X path. If try X path able to highlight it, definitely Selenium can identify the element. I've given that absolute location, input 1, first input element. Execute. There is one element matching this element, username element. This is the absolute location of the element, that username element. Now, here, in place of 1, I'm giving 2. This is the absolute X path of the password element. Here I'm giving 3. It's a third input element. It is also input element, right? Third input element inside the HTML body, login element. Okay. Now, let me slightly modify this code. I take the notepad, and here let me add two links like the break anchor element, anchor h reference equal to, I'm giving some URL, google.com, visit Google. I'm creating one more anchor element, break, or in the immediate it will come. One more anchor element, say facebook.com, visit, it's a link text, Facebook. Well, there are 3 input elements, there are 2 anchor elements. Like there'll be division elements, label elements, list elements, IMG, image elements, different elements. Well, okay, one second. Better, I don't suggest Internet Explorer. Go with either Chrome or Firefox. Here, this is the output of the code I have created. I click this. H reference property I given. I hope you have observed that google.com. For this, I given Facebook. What's happening? Yes, it went to Facebook. Done. Well, now, okay. Here, previously I have used input. Now I'm asking Selenium, start locating the element from the beginning of the page, HTML. First go to the HTML node. From there, move on to the body. Then find the first anchor element. See, this is the first anchor element. See, I'm not asking Selenium, I am not giving any information, Selenium. Find the Google, visit something. First link, that's it. First link. Whatever the link there, that link gets identified. Now I'm giving 2 here. Second link will be identified. Now just I'm using A. You observe what happened now? You tell me what happened now. You answer me. I was not given A1 or A2. Just I given A. What happened? all anchor elements are identified. Because I was not set A1 or A2, all anchor elements are identified. Similarly, let's see now. Oh, 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 1 second. Here I'm giving input. What happened? 3 input elements are identified. You please observe the count. 3. The 3 input element, because I was not given any number, first input or second input. Right. Finally, this is absolute XPath of the element. Got it? Right. Now, input 1, like, input 2, or maybe if I really want to recognize all the input elements, just input. Then in the name itself, very clear what is partial. Tell me, what do you mean by partial? Simply, I mean, you know about the Google Maps, how to use the Google Map. We are at one location, say Hyderabad. I'm entering my destination. I'm entering my destination. For example, Bangalore. The Google Map will show you from the origin, Hyderabad, till the destination, complete route will be shown to you, correct? That is absolute location, from beginning till the end. But already I know up to some point. I do not want to see such a big route. Then what I will do, I know till some location, I'll change my origin from Hyderabad to the known location to reduce the identification mechanism, to reduce my map route. The same way it is, partial XPath. Rather than asking Selenium start locating the element from the beginning of the web page, you can ask Selenium start locating the element from somewhere in the page, not from very beginning, from somewhere in the page. I hope you understood. If we specify route from somewhere in the page till end of the element nothing but the node. If you have any confusion with the term node, in place of node I go with the element node, both of them here, till end of the child node element. Then it's called partial XPath. Okay, supposing the partial XPath begins with, friends, do remember this, you can start with a single forward slash also. It's not mandatory, but we can use it. We can use it here. Not mandate, but partial XPath and relative XPath. So previously we have used value properties, some other properties in the XPath. While using a property, I hope you observe that every time I'm using 2 forward slashes, correct? That is called relative XPath, as simple, other than the absolute location, other than the absolute location. If you are giving either partial location, or if you are using properties or conditions in the XPath, they are called actually relevant relative XPath. The relative XPath must begins with 2 forward slashes. Now, I'm asking Selenium, start locating the element from the body section of the HTML page. No need to start from the beginning. Input 1. Input 1. Now let's see. Let me use it in that try XPath. Okay. I given that partial XPath. No. to copy. I'm giving the partial export execute. It is finding the first element. Now here, still if I want to reduce, I am even removing the body section also. Directly find the first input element in the page. Output is same. Or find the second input element in the page. Something like this. This is called partial export. Or two forward slashes. Sorry, directly input one. This is called partial export. Well, now, so to teach you this topic only, I have created a sample page like this. If you understand it. Now here, let's go back to this. I want to make Selenium to identify this element. Okay. Now here, so none of the properties helping me to find this element. So definitely here I have to go for the location-based identification. Right. By seeing this HTML page, can you give me the absolute location? What is absolute location here? Can you give me the absolute location of this element, this paragraph element? So what is absolute location? HTML body P1? No, no. So previously I created a very simple page to teach you the topic. HTML, HTML body, form, division 1, division 2, table, TR, TD. There are many things. You have to give the location. From here, you have to move like this completely till end of the child node. Is it practically possible to get it writing by seeing the code? It's very difficult, very, very difficult. Previously, I created a very simple one. For partial export, we'll go later. The partial export also, we should know it, right? We should know it, right? HTML, HTML body, frame, division 1, division 2, no, table, form. From the form, directly go to the table because our element available inside the table. Then table body, then maybe 10th row or 4th row. We have to count the row, first row, second row, third row, something like this. It's a very, very difficult. Let me teach you simple way of getting from the real-time applications absolute location. How? Right click on the HTML section here. For this element, I wanted absolute path. Right click, copy. You please observe we have export. We have export here, right? You copy this. Just I'm putting in the notepad somewhere here. This is that. See, HTML, body, form, table, table body. There are many other things till the first paragraph element, P1, first paragraph element. But really generating this by seeing simply the web page code, really impractical. We do lots of mistakes. This, no, first of all, you no need to test this. It is system generated, browser generated. Absolutely it works, no doubt about it. Verify this. Here, the complete value I put here. See, it is getting identified. But it's a very lengthy one, correct? Very lengthy one. See, from the beginning of the HTML page. Too lengthy one. I do not want to give this lengthy path in my code. What I can do, I can cut down this. I can cut down this. That is nothing but the partial export. So what I will do, I remove the HTML portion. Okay, better I remove the body portion. Okay, still I want to remove, you can remove. Then what I recommend, after removing some part, no guarantee this will perfectly identify the partial export. I said it begins with 2 forward slashes. Just copy this value. Before you use it in this code, use this in the code, I recommend in the try export, whatever the value you have cut down, that is partial export, you paste it, 2 forward slashes table, something like this, execute. One match, it is getting highlighted. No, perfectly you can use it. Your Selenium also can identify the element. This is called partial export. I hope you understand the concept. Concept is understood, right? Please confirm. Right. Now from here, while we start developing the code, definitely we use this concept. And let me show you a very simple add-on, another simple option here. Like previously we have downloaded TryXpath, right? I hope you understand the use of the TryXpath. The same way, there is another add-on for the browsers, XPath Finder. There is one more add-on available called XPath Finder. So what I will do, I'll go to add-on section, add-ons here. I mean, 2 days back, 3 days back, we have installed this TryXpath. The same way, there is one more add-on available. It's not mandated to use it because previously we are able to generate the absolute location by right-clicking and copying the XPath. Same function, there is a utility that utility will do, XPath Finder. A simple add-on, XPath Finder. See this one. I'm adding it to my browser. Add. Yes, added. Added. Where it was. Okay, let me close and open so that this may appear. Firefox. One moment. Try export. Run in private window allowed. Okay. Now I was allowed it. It's my browser setting. Here you see, you are seeing the add-on XPath Finder. Now, premusbank.qvettech.com. Okay. Now here, how to use this XPath Finder? XPath Finder. In the name itself, very clear what it is. XPath Finder. I click it. You highlight the element for which you wanted location. You please observe in the bottom, the complete XPath was copied, generated by the add-on. At the bottom, it was generated. Just I'm copying it. I'm putting in the notepad. Here it is. Same thing. Same thing. So one option, we can right click, inspect element. From here, right click, copy, XPath Finder, XPath. it will generate the absolute location. Or same thing you can do with XPath Finder add-on also. It's not mandated to use the XPath Finder. We have a add-on like this. This value you have to copy and use it. That's it. Only it will generate the absolute location. And do remember, here we have to make one point. Supposing, let's see. See, first you have to activate it, highlight the element, highlight the element. Now, once your work done, you have to click it to deactivate it. Okay. Now see, I want to generate the XPath value, absolute XPath value for the username element. What do you want me to do? I want to generate absolute location for the username element. What do you want me to do? Or see the Facebook or any other application. I want to generate absolute XPath for this username element. Right click, inspect the element. Here we have. From here, right click, copy, export. From here, right click, copy the export. Correct? Correct? Well, here you have to make one note. This element has an ID or not? You observe and tell me. We are trying to copy the export value for some element. That element has an ID property. Correct? What is the ID property value here? Email. See what happens. See what happens. I'm copying it, putting it here. Observe and tell me what happened. What happened? You tell me. Yes, what happened? The element has an ID. No, it's a partial export. Is it a partial export? Sanjana, is it a partial export? We are trying to generate the absolute location for some element. I did it. But the element for which you are trying to generate the absolute location has an ID, email. System suggesting you, recommending you, don't go for the location, there is an ID property. Understand? Do you understand? You are trying to copy the location for some element. That element has an ID. Software suggesting you, don't go for the location, there is a ID property, use ID property. You please observe here, this part in the beginning we have discussed how to use the properties in the XPath. ID and name also we can use in the XPath. There is a syntax, 2 forward slashes, star, @ property name equal to property value. So as ID available, instead of generating the location, system itself is generated the XPath expression using the ID property. Same thing, if you are using XPath Finder also, the same thing. See now. I'm using XPath Finder. I click XPath Finder. I'm highlighting this element, or I highlight this element, password element this time. You please observe here. Did you observe? XPath Finder also suggesting you there is a ID property available. Pass, go with the ID property. Don't go for the location. So because location is not recommended all the time, if no properties are helping us, then only we have to go for the location. Software itself is suggesting you, recommending you, ID property available, go with ID property. So what is the understanding now? If element has an ID property, this XPath Finder or copy XPath options will generate the XPath expression using that ID property. That is the conclusion. If I confirm till this point, I go with my next topic, that is handling the Ajax calls using the Selenium WebDriver, nothing but the suggestion items. I hope you clear about this topic, using the location in the XPath. Right, right. Now, today we'll conclude a simple scenario. It is, I mean, text box related option. We started with learning the text box element. In this Google application, when I enter some data here, Selenium, it is showing you the list of suggestions. These are called actually Ajax calls. What is Ajax call? It's a new technology. It's available for years, recent years, not previous month or the before the month. For last 4 or 5 years, it is available, Ajax. What is this Ajax component? Not even 4, 5, almost about 8 years. Well, see, I'm typing something in the Google, Selenium I type, or QTP I type, load runner I type. Without refreshing the page, do observe the Google behavior. Without refreshing a page, did I click any button anywhere? Where I'm just changing my keyword, corresponding suggestions also getting changed. Got it? Like this. These are called Ajax calls. Without refreshing the page, no page load happened in the Google now. Without page loading, without refreshing the page, we are getting options. These are called actually Ajax calls. Now I want to make Selenium to handle these Ajax calls. I want to read all the suggestions displayed in the Google when I type Selenium here. Let's see how it is. Okay, right. Now I'll write the code to invoke the Google application. Google. After invoking Google application, I want to make Selenium to, one second. Okay. I want to make Selenium to identify this element, this text box element, Google search. So I am spying the properties of it. There is a name property. Did you observe Q? Q. There's a name property called Q. So I'll make Selenium to identify the element based on the name property. Find element by its name, Q. Then enter some data. I'm giving the data, say, Selenium. Okay. Now, I made Selenium to enter some data here, Selenium. But when I'm keying the data, see, when I key the data, selenium, sometimes it takes a minimum a second. Sometimes it may not take to display all these values here. Okay, first let us see. After entering the selenium, I want to capture all the suggestions displayed here. I want to capture all suggestions displayed here. How? How? I inspect the properties of this element. Okay. Selenium. You please observe, analyzing the HTML page, HTML code will make us to take a right decision on the logic. You please observe li, li, all are li element, list elements. There are many list elements here. All these are list elements. See, the last list element it is. Selenium ID for Chrome. Last but one. Before one, before one, before one. And it is the first one. The first list element. Li stands for list here actually. Not Java list. There's HTML li element. But see, all these li elements are inside. Please answer me. All li elements are present inside. Inside which element? You ping me your answer. See, this entire area getting identified as UL, upper list. UL. So now what I will do, all these list elements are available inside a parent element UL. See, this is a parent. This parent element has child elements inside it. So first what I do, I'll make Selenium to identify this parent element based on the class name. I'm copying the class name here. The parent element UL has a class name. I'm copying the class name. I copy it. Then driver dot find element by the class name. What is the class name? I copied it. Dot is a parent element, right? Find the parent element. But inside the parent element, there are many child elements. First, I am making Selenium to find the parent element. Then find elements inside the parent element. Find elements by the tag name. What is the tag name we have observed? Answer me. What is the tag name we have observed? Child elements. Yes. Excellent. Excellent. So you are with me. You are following the code, understanding the topic then. Li element. Correct. So I am asking Selenium, find the element whose tag name is li present inside this parent element. Finally, it is returning all li elements inside some parent elements. What is the return type? List of web element, because find elements. List of web elements. All li elements we are keeping in some Java list. Supposing here, keyword list. Okay, keyword list is my Java list name here. The Selenium keyword list, whatever it may be. So now I want to count number of suggestions related to Selenium keyword list dot size. First, let us run the code till this point. If I are getting the valid count, then we can able to print all the values one by one. Let's see this first. How many are available? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 values are available. Yes, your Selenium able to capture all the keywords into a Java list. Count is 10 here. Now I want to print all. I want to print all. Oh, sorry. For I'm creating a for loop. For each loop you can use, for loop you can use, that is your option. For int I equal to 0, I less than keyword list dot size I plus plus. Now here, keyword list is a Java list. It contains the elements, correct? It contains the elements. How to access the element present in a list? What is the method? What is the method to access the elements present in a list? Excellent. Get method. Get ith element. Sir, we are getting the element. What is available in the list? What is available in the list? Element. That element has a text. That element has a text property. I'm using get text. Get the text of the 0th element. You know, get text will return a string. This I'm keeping in some temporary variable. Keyword. Keyword. Now let me print the keyword. Let me run this code now. This example explaining you how to capture the Ajax calls or suggestions displayed in a text box. Not only I took a best example Google, you can practice this on any text box where you are getting list of suggestions. See the output. Selenium saying there are 10 suggestions available and these are the suggestions. Last one, till the last one it is printing. Selenium ID for Chrome. Got it? I hope you understand the concept. This is the topic, handling suggestions. Nothing but Ajax calls displayed in a text box element. So each suggestion displayed in any text box is a LI element. By reading all the LI elements available inside the parent element, we can able to do this. Okay. And this is example will explain you how to do this. Maybe I recommend first you practice on the Google, then you take any application where we have some list of suggestions. I'll show you some other applications where you will get this kind of options. I'm giving this example, Google example. It takes some application, maybe Yahoo or Bing, but Yahoo or Bing also similar to this. Let me take, okay, some flight reservation application like ClearTrip. Here I have text box. Here I'm typing HYD. One moment. Here I'm typing HYD. Here we are getting list of suggestions, right? It's a text box. When I type HYD, it is showing the keywords that contain the HYD. In this application also, you can practice this stuff. Or you can take some other application like Redbus, redbus.in. Here I'm typing HYD. We are getting here. See, it is not a drop-down list, correct? It is a text box showing the suggestions. So this kind of exercises you can practice. Got it? Right. Right, friends, I hope today topics are clear, everybody. I stop here today and tomorrow we continue. Thank you. I uploaded this file into the drive for today. We continue tomorrow.